Hi, everyone. My name is Chris, and I have classical EDS, but not if you ask the doctors I saw when I was a teenager. In retrospect, I've had symptoms since the day I was born, but it was around 14 that I knew I was different. I started having terrible GI problems, constant pain, subluxations, to the point where I was drinking water all day just to feel full because I couldn't tolerate food. I couldn't understand what was happening to my body, and I felt like I was losing control. About half of classical EDS patients have what's called a de novo mutation, in that it's a mutation that isn't hereditary, and so I'm the only one in my family who has this mutation. So because this condition is rare to begin with, and no one in my family had similar symptoms, I began to feel incredibly isolated, which I think has been a theme for some of these talks so far, this feeling of isolation that EDS patients feel. So I began seeing numerous doctors to try and find answers, but what I was mostly met with deflection and disbelief. I tried so many medications, I don't even remember all of them, and doctors told me that I was just depressed and that there was nothing wrong with me. I know many suspected that I was simply malingering and looking for attention. And this was around my teen years, and we know that teenagers already tend to feel disconnected and misunderstood, but EDS makes you feel betrayed by your own body and the people who are supposed to help you. At my lowest point, I began to think that maybe they were right, and that maybe there was really nothing physically wrong with me, and that this was just psychiatric illness. However, I never completely lost hope. I would spend a lot of my free time watching medical mystery shows and searching on Wikipedia for anything that might be an answer to what was going on. Until one night when I was 22, I stumbled on the page for EDS, late at night. And everything changed for me. It's a feeling that's very hard to describe. I felt relief, anger, and joy all at once. Relief that I wasn't crazy, anger at those who didn't believe me, and joy in finding an answer I'd been searching for so long. But even after I discovered EDS, it took over 2 years for me and another batch of doctors who didn't believe me to finally get diagnosed. One of these doctors even asked me if my skin was still stretchy, like it would just clear up overnight. So sadly, you will probably hear similar stories everywhere in this room, that every day on the patient groups, I see posts about patients suffering due to lack of understanding, knowledge, and proper care. After going through all of this, I told myself that I would be the person I wish I knew 15 years ago. I committed myself to telling my story to raise awareness for EDS. If you saw that music video yesterday, Still Standing, I was in that music video, and I would encourage all of you to watch it if you haven't already. Through my issues, I have made my way through school to learn science and understand more about medicine. I'm actually currently working on my PhD in neuroscience, studying 2 of the components in cannabis, with the hope of using my knowledge to help drug development in pain management. My experience is common for people with EDS, which is why I think conferences like this are so important. The first time I went to a patient conference, I was incredibly overwhelmed. Things that had isolated me for 20 years were suddenly the norm for the people I talked to. I felt a connection with peers that I'd never had before. The other aspects of EDS conferences I think are vital is that it gives doctors and patients a chance to interact and bridge the gaps of understanding between us while not in a doctor's office. We come at medicine from very different angles, and I think facilitating a dialogue will help people in the long run. Thank you.